Welcome to the Microcap Brief, the podcast that teaches you how to look beyond the hype and find real value. Today, we're doing a forensic case study on one of the most spectacular corporate downfalls in recent memory, the Hindenburg Research report on Nikola Corporation. But we're not just telling a story of fraud, we're turning it into a masterclass on forensic due diligence. We'll break down the exact red flags that were missed and show you how to spot them in other companies. Our timeline begins in September 2020. The electric vehicle space was white hot. Nikola, a company focused on hydrogen and electric trucks, was riding a wave of euphoria. It had a charismatic founder and promises of revolutionary technology. On September 8th, Nikola announced a landmark partnership with General Motors. GM would take an 11% stake valued at about $2 billion and would help engineer and manufacture Nikola's flagship Badger pickup truck. The market saw this as the ultimate validation from a legacy automaker. Nikola's stock soared over 40%. But just 2 days later, on September 10th, the investment firm Hindenburg Research published a report titled Nikola: How to Parlay an Ocean of Lies into a Partnership with the Largest Auto OEM in America. They called Nikola an intricate fraud. This wasn't a simple opinion piece. It was a 67-page dossier of evidence gathered through extensive on-the-ground investigation, interviews with former employees, and deep analysis of public documents. Let's break down their three most devastating allegations from an investor's perspective. First, the technology. Nikola's flagship video from 2018 showed its hydrogen electric semi-truck, the Nikola 1, in motion on a road. Hindenburg alleged the truck was not powered by its own propulsion system. Instead, it had been towed to the top of a hill and simply rolled down. This directly challenged the core of Nikola's technological claims. Second, the proprietary tech. Hindenburg provided evidence, including photos of disassembled trucks, that Nikola was purchasing inverters from a third-party supplier, then painting over their logos and presenting them as their own proprietary technology. This questioned the company's entire R&D narrative. Third, and most importantly for investors, the business model. Nikola frequently touted $14 billion in pre-orders. Hindenburg dug deeper and found these were largely non-binding memorandum of understandings with small startups, many of which had no ability to actually finance such large purchases. They were not the firm, binding purchase orders the company's press releases implied. The market reacted instantly. The stock plummeted. Nikola issued a rebuttal, but in doing so, they made a critical admission. In addressing the In Motion video, they stated they never said the truck was driving under its own propulsion. For many investors, this was a confirmation, not a denial. The dominoes began to fall. The SEC and DOJ opened investigations. Founder Trevor Milton stepped down as executive chairman, and the massive GM equity deal was scrapped, replaced by a far smaller supply agreement. And in October 2022, Milton was convicted by a federal jury on 2 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of securities fraud for misleading investors. So, what's the key lesson for an investor? How could you have spotted this? The clues were always hiding in plain sight in the company's own SEC filings. As we teach in our Decoding Filings episode, a press release is marketing. An SEC filing is a legal document. The discrepancy between the two is often the brightest red flag. Nikola's press releases screamed about $14 billion in pre-orders. But if you turn to the company's S-1 registration statement filed with the SEC before it went public, the language was far more cautious. On page 81 of their S-1, Nikola stated, "We have non-binding letters of intent from customers for orders of heavy-duty trucks." The key word is non-binding. These orders could be canceled at any time without penalty. The filing made this risk clear, while the press releases deliberately obscured it. Hindenburg's work wasn't magic. It was the act of taking the company's legal disclosures at face value and then proving they conflicted with the public narrative. Your actionable takeaway from this case study is this: when a short seller publishes a report, your first instinct shouldn't be to panic sell or dismiss it. Your job is to become a forensic auditor. Treat the short report as a research roadmap. They have done a massive amount of digging. Use their claims as a guide for what to investigate. Go directly to the primary source, the SEC filings. Don't rely on the company's summary or a news article. Read the 10K, the 10Q, and the S1 yourself. Play detective. Cross-reference the bullish claims from press releases and CEO interviews with the cautious, legal language in the filings. Any material discrepancy is a major warning sign. A strong company's filings will provide clear, verifiable evidence to disprove a short seller's attacks. A weak company's filings will often, as in Nikola's case, confirm them. Thank you for listening to the Micro-Cap Brief. Remember, the most powerful investing tool you have is not a stock screener or a tip. It's your own critical thinking. Now go read those filings. Disclaimer: this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions.